Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. So I wanted to give a brief comment on what you probably all have seen at this point, which is the video that has surfaced of the ER charge nurse being dragged away by the police officer after she refused to stick a patient and draw blood illegally without the patient's consent and without a warrant, in keeping with hospital policy and also with constitutional law. So I wanted to sound off on that just a little bit. First off, what's probably going to end up happening at the end of the day is that she's going to have a suit for unlawful arrest. She was arrested, not charged, of course, because what's going to charge her for? Upholding the Fourth Amendment? Woohoo! She's probably going to end up getting a settlement, which will potentially pay off all her student loans if she has any, or help set her up so that she doesn't have to do any more work than she otherwise wants to in her life, and he'll probably end up losing his job. Now, I want to take a moment here and push pause and say I think this is being used right now. I'm not saying that what happened to this woman is right, and I'm not saying that the officer was justified and absolved from all guilt. I'm not saying that at all. It's absolutely horrendous situation. However, I think that it's being used right now to stir up anti-police sentiments in the media and say, oh, look, now it's not just police abusing black people. Now they're abusing blonde-headed, blue-eyed women too, professional white women too. And so be aware in the back of your mind that that's one of the reasons why it's getting pushed, aside from the fact that it was absolutely atrocious. This woman, this nurse, soul sister nurse, did a great job in doing what she has an oath to do. If you are in nursing, we do not take the Hippocratic Oath, okay? Like, that's a really common misconception. Nurses do not take the Hippocratic Oath. Usually you take the Florence Nightingale Oath or something else of your choosing, or you choose not to take oaths because many people of different religious persuasions do not take oaths. So in the case that she did take an oath, Florence Nightingale oath, she completely nailed it and was an advocate for her patient. In nursing school, they like to teach you, and it's true, that you as a nurse are responsible for being an advocate for the patients in your charge, especially in her particular case, because this patient was, as I understand it, unconscious. I apologize if I've missed any nuances here, but this is in Utah and I'm not in Utah. In this particular case, this patient who is unconscious secondary to a motor vehicular accident was being brought in, and the police officer was demanding that his blood be drawn, even though he wasn't conscious. And she, of course, cited policy and the law, which saying, hey, we can't do that. I'm sorry, unless you get a warrant, that's a no-no. And then we see the familiar stuff. She's getting dragged out of there screaming, and he says, I'm going to leave her with blood or with a body in tow, something like that. So, soul sister, Miss Alex, you did a great job. Mad props from a sister nurse, and she did her best to not only uphold, if she took the oath, her oath as a nurse, but also to defend the Constitution. The Fourth Amendment guarantees a person right against unreasonable search and seizure, and your blood is your property. If your blood isn't your property, I don't know what is, y'all. And you cannot be compelled to give up outside of the proper legal channels your property. Basic human law 101, natural rights at all, okay? Like John Locke, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so good job, Miss Alex. You did a great thing as a nurse, and what's probably, again, going to end up happening is that if she hasn't filed a suit, I would, against, unlawful arrest, major civil rights violation, aside from other damages, civil damages, punitive damages, etc. But she'll probably end up getting a settlement, and he will probably end up losing his job. I mean, that's big, big, big mess up on his part. For my part, most of the police officers and law enforcement officers that I know are very well familiar with the Constitution and would not do such a thing. Of course, that could be just because of the people that I naturally hang out with anyway. Like people that I call my friends in real life who are law enforcement officers would never do that. Like, ever. So, folks, I think that it is an unfortunate reality of the world that we live in, but I'm very proud of her, nurse to nurse. I am so proud of you, Miss Alex, for what you did, and God bless you. The patient, advocating for your patients, and even, like, above that, the Bill of Rights was safeguarded by an ER charge nurse in Utah, and that makes me happy. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later.